Welcome, seekers of truth, to the edge of revelation, to the cusp, where courage meets the raw and unforgiving reality of human ambition. You think you know the world, but you do not. You think you understand the people around you, but the truth is heavier, darker, more corrosive than you have ever dared to imagine. Today, we step beyond the comfortable illusions, beyond the veil of polite lies and silent deceptions, and into the furnace where secrets burn, and the brave either rise or shatter. Yes, I am talking about the moment when even the strongest among us, when even the most composed, the most disciplined, finally break. When pressure becomes unbearable, when fear and truth collide, and when the masks fall away. They cracked under pressure, and when they did, they revealed the unimaginable, the insidious, the hidden currents that drove the circle. They thought no one could ever understand. You think secrets are safe because they are buried in whispered corridors, because they are shielded behind carefully constructed facades, but pressure doesn't negotiate. Pressure doesn't wait for loyalty, or morality, or self-restraint. Pressure exposes, and what it exposed, what they admitted, is nothing short of terrifying in its scope and precision. Imagine being at the center of something you cannot control, a machine of intentions moving silently in the dark, and realizing too late that you are merely a witness, a pawn in a plan so meticulously woven that no one sees the threads until it is already too late. This is the moment when truth strikes like lightning, when clarity cuts through the fog and illuminates a design meant to manipulate, to control, to dominate. And they, the ones who held that truth in their hands, finally crumbled. They confessed. They admitted what the circle really plotted, and what they revealed would make your assumptions tremble. Do not mistake this for despair. Do not mistake the darkness for the absence of light, because in every revelation, in every confession pulled from trembling lips, there lies a lesson for those brave enough to witness it. There lies the power to see the world not as it appears, but as it is. And the first lesson, the one that strikes like a blade through ignorance, is that the human mind can be both cunning and fragile. Even the strongest, the most stoic, the most intelligent, will bend when confronted with relentless force, with the weight of consequences they never anticipated, with the pressure that gnaws at certainty until it crumbles. The circle they belonged to thrived on illusion. They thrived on secrecy. They thrived on the invisible chains that bound loyalty to fear and obedience to ambition. And when the walls closed in, when the heat became unbearable, when the world demanded truth over deception, they broke. They revealed the blueprint of manipulation, the network of intentions so darkly brilliant that it leaves an echo in your mind long after the words are spoken. It is not merely shocking, it is transformative. For understanding what others will go to great lengths to conceal gives you a power no ordinary courage can grant. Now, imagine for a moment the pressure they faced, the invisible hands tightening, the silent judgment that bears down from every direction. It is not mere intimidation. It is the psychological forging of a human mind under duress. It is the battlefield where your convictions are tested against the inevitability of truth. And here is the terrifying beauty. Only those who confront this pressure, only those who stare into the abyss without flinching, can learn the lessons that are whispered by those who fall. Those who crack are not just failures, they are teachers. Their breaking is a demonstration of human limitation, of the fragility of secrets, and of the inexorable force of pressure itself. Pressure does not discriminate. It does not respect talent, strategy, or pride. It is the great equalizer, the ultimate revealer. Under its weight, lies collapse, facades crumble, and the hidden intentions of those we trust most surface like shadows in the sun. And when it happens, when confession emerges from a mind strained beyond endurance, the truth is not partial. It is full, it is naked, and it is relentless. They admitted what the circle really plotted, and their words cast a shadow over everything they touched, everything they influenced, everything they sought to control. You are not going to believe what they planned. The very phrase seems almost too heavy to digest, because what they orchestrated was not merely a plan, it was a vision, a meticulously crafted design built to manipulate, to exploit, to transform events and people alike according to their desires. And yet, the most fascinating part is not the plan itself, but the vulnerability it exposed. Every great conspiracy, every silent machinery of influence depends on the assumption that it will never be revealed. Pressure is the catalyst that shatters that assumption, that it will never be revealed. Pressure is the catalyst that shatters that assumption. It is the inevitability of exposure that keeps ambition honest, or, in the case of those who cracked, utterly devastated. Let us not shy away from the human element in this, because pressure does not act on ideas, it acts on people. It penetrates the mind, it burrows into confidence, and it waits for hesitation, for doubt, for fear. And when it finds it, when the human defenses falter, the truth rushes out like a river, breaking through a dam. They could no longer contain it, and in that moment of collapse, a new understanding is born. Witnessing this, observing the fragility and the confession, you are granted insight into the mechanics of influence, the architecture of power, and the psychology of concealment. This is why you must internalize what it means to withstand pressure, what it means to stand when the weight of expectation, of fear, of consequence threatens to collapse your mind. Pressure will test you, and it will come for you in ways you cannot predict. But unlike those who crumbled, you have the choice to rise, to see beyond the deception, to wield the clarity that comes from understanding human weakness and resilience alike. They cracked, yes, but you are here, and your presence is a refusal to yield. Your presence is a declaration that no force, no circle, no shadowy conspiracy will bend you into a confession you are not ready to make, a lie you cannot withstand. And yet, let us embrace the lesson of their breaking, because it is not simply a cautionary tale. It is a roadmap. It shows what happens when fear eclipses reason, when loyalty is manipulated, when secrecy is weaponized against those who serve it. It demonstrates the exact points where pressure succeeds, where human psychology bends, where even the most calculated plans face the inevitability of exposure. You do not merely watch this unfold. You learn, you understand, you prepare. And in that preparation lies your power, your advantage over the very forces that ensnared them. Every word they uttered, every fragment of the circle's plot that escaped their lips under duress is a key. It unlocks knowledge that others will spend a lifetime trying to uncover. And knowledge is power, but only if it is tempered with wisdom, with resolve, with the understanding that exposure is both a weapon and a responsibility. To know what they planned is to grasp the architecture of control, and to grasp it is to gain the ability to navigate, to counter, to anticipate the moves of those who think themselves untouchable. Now, let us consider the anatomy of their collapse. It did not happen overnight. It did not happen as a single flash of fear. No, their minds were stretched, tugged, tested, cornered, pressed from every angle until the smallest crack became an opening wide enough for truth to pour out. Every hesitation, every whispered doubt, every moment of internal conflict accumulated like ice on a mountain cliff until the pressure was too great to endure. And in that fracture, the circle's secrets emerged. What they plotted, hidden beneath layers of carefully cultivated appearances, was no longer a mystery. Their ambition, their designs, their manipulation, they were laid bare, raw, undeniable. And here is where you must pay attention, because the people who crumbled under pressure were not inherently weak. They were not lacking skill, intelligence, or preparation. They were human, and the human mind, magnificent as it is, has limits. It bends, it yields, it fractures. Pressure is the crucible in which human intention is tested, and those who cannot withstand it reveal everything. You see, pressure is not merely a force, it is a mirror. It shows us who we truly are, and in witnessing their breaking, we are gifted a reflection of both human frailty and human potential. Think for a moment about what it means to see a plan unravel before your eyes. To hear someone confess what was hidden in the shadows is to witness a form of liberation and destruction at once. It is the unveiling of ambition in its purest, most honest form, stripped of pretense. And yet, it is also a warning that no strategy, no secret, no alliance, no matter how cunning, is invulnerable. The world is a pressure cooker, a relentless test of will, patience, and perception, and those who cannot endure it will inevitably reveal what they sought to conceal, whether by fear, fatigue, or moral reckoning. There is a peculiar beauty in this truth. The very act of cracking, of confessing, is also the act of truth asserting itself over deception. Secrets do not survive infinite scrutiny. Plots, no matter how meticulous, cannot withstand the relentless push of circumstance. And the circle, confident in its own invincibility, assumed it had mastered both strategy and secrecy. But pressure has no allegiance. It respects no title, no influence, no reputation. When applied with precision, it exposes every hidden design, every masked intention, every carefully calculated move. And when it does, the results are not just shocking, they are enlightening. This is why you must embrace pressure, not fear it. Those who break under it teach us lessons. Those who never face it cannot. They show us the cost of complacency, the danger of hubris, and the sheer force required to protect the integrity of one's mind and one's mission. To endure pressure is to claim mastery over the very forces that topple others. To watch others crumble and to understand why they did is to arm yourself with foresight, with insight, with an almost preternatural awareness of human behavior under duress. Do not underestimate what it means to know the inner workings of a circle like theirs. They believe themselves untouchable, shrouded in secrecy, operating beyond observation. Yet, when the human element is subjected to relentless strain, their meticulous constructs unravel. And you, standing at the periphery, observing, absorbing, learning, are the one who gains the advantage. Knowledge, once hidden, becomes a weapon, a shield, a map, through a world fraught with unseen intentions. Every confession, every revelation, every crack in their armor is a step forward for those who are ready to face the pressure without faltering. You are not going to believe what they planned, but you must. Because disbelief is the enemy of comprehension. When confronted with the magnitude of intention that others might hide, the instinct is to dismiss, to rationalize, to minimize. But the truth, once revealed, demands acknowledgement. And acknowledgement is not weakness, it is power. Understanding the scale, the cunning, the audacity of their plans allows you to anticipate, to counter, and to navigate, with a clarity unavailable to those who live in comforting ignorance. Consider the psychological warfare at play. The circle relied on silence, on trust, on loyalty, on intimidation. Each member had their role, their responsibility, their carefully cultivated mask. But masks cannot withstand unrelenting pressure. When the world forces revelation, when secrets are forced into the light, the human mind reaches a breaking point, and it is at that precise point that clarity emerges. They admitted everything, not because they were malicious, not because they were careless, but because they were human. And humanity, under stress, speaks the truth that ambition had once concealed. Here is the crucial insight. Everyone has a threshold, a limit beyond which control is lost, where fear, doubt, or guilt dominates over strategy and cunning. Those who plan, manipulate, and conspire operate under the illusion that their control is infinite, that their influence is unassailable, that their secrets are permanent. But reality has a way of intruding. Pressure reveals, confrontation exposes, and eventually, all designs meet their reckoning. Those who crumbled demonstrated precisely where that threshold lies. They offer a roadmap for understanding, for anticipating, and for navigating the hidden forces that shape human behavior and decision-making. And now, let us turn to the lesson that is most potent of all. Their collapse, their admission, is a mirror for you. It shows the consequences of yielding to pressure, yes, but it also illuminates the path to resilience. To withstand pressure is to cultivate an unshakable awareness, a disciplined mind, and an unwavering sense of purpose. It is to see beyond the surface, to anticipate the unseen, to recognize the subtle currents that manipulate even the most skilled minds. Those who crack teach you what not to do. Those who endure teach you what is possible. This is where motivation transcends the ordinary. We are not merely spectators of failure. We are students of endurance, architects of our own resilience, inheritors of lessons written in the fractured confessions of others. The circle they belong to plotted with precision, ambition, and cunning, but they did not account for the power of observation, of comprehension, of preparation. They did not anticipate the strength of a mind trained to withstand revelation, to absorb shock, to act decisively in the face of pressure. And that is your opportunity. That is your advantage. That is your calling. Every revelation, every admission, every crack in their story is a spark. It ignites awareness. It illuminates paths hidden in darkness. It exposes the vulnerabilities that no amount of planning can fully conceal. To see this, to internalize this, is to gain an unparalleled edge. You begin to recognize the warning signs, the subtle pressures that foreshadow collapse, the psychological levers that, when applied, can force truth to surface. And with this recognition comes power, not the kind of brute force that dominates, but the kind of strategic intelligence that anticipates, adapts, and ultimately controls the outcome of any encounter. Pressure, then, is not the enemy. Pressure is the test, the forge, the crucible through which the human mind either fractures or emerges refined, sharpened, indomitable. Those who cracked under it were not inherently weaker. They were unprepared for the inevitability of exposure. And this is where your resolve must be absolute. You must see the world with clarity, understand its mechanisms, anticipate its pressures, and refuse to yield when the heat comes. For when it does, when you face the moment of potential collapse, you will stand firm. And in standing, you will see truths that others only glimpse when it is too late. You are not going to believe what they planned, but you must. Because understanding it is not an invitation to fear. It is a call to mastery. Mastery over pressure, mastery over deception, mastery over your own mind. To internalize the lessons of those who crumbled is to cultivate foresight, to observe their breaking is to arm yourself with a blueprint of resilience. And to act on this knowledge is to step beyond the realm of ordinary human limitations into a space where control, clarity, and courage converge. Understand this. The world is full of hidden designs, invisible hands that shape outcomes in ways most will never notice. But when the veil is lifted, when the cracks in the facade appear, the truth is revealed in all its magnitude. They cracked under pressure, and in doing so, exposed the intricate web the circle had woven. Its plans, its ambitions, its manipulations. And make no mistake, their fall was not meaningless. It is a beacon, a warning, a guide. Every confession they uttered, every hesitation that betrayed them, every fragment of truth that escaped trembling lips is a map for those who are ready to read it. To witness this unraveling is to glimpse both danger and opportunity. There is danger in underestimating the scope of human ambition, in assuming that every plot can remain hidden, that every scheme is foolproof. There is opportunity in understanding the mechanics of failure, in seeing exactly where human minds give way under relentless pressure. They admitted what the circle really plotted, and that admission is a tool. It is a lens through which you can anticipate, predict, and navigate the world in ways others cannot. Pressure is a master teacher, relentless, uncompromising, unforgiving. It does not respect position, talent, or pride. It strikes indiscriminately, and it reveals truth indiscriminately. And when applied correctly, when observed keenly, it can illuminate everything that the strongest minds might hide. They crumbled because they underestimated it. They faltered because they assumed their control was absolute. They failed because they did not anticipate the inevitability of exposure. And in their failure, they revealed exactly how power operates in the shadows, how secrets can manipulate, and how even the most meticulous plans can unravel. This is why preparation, awareness, and resilience matter more than any plan or ambition. The pressure that broke them could break anyone, yes, but it does not have to break you. The lesson here is clear. The mind that trains itself to anticipate, to resist, to endure, becomes almost untouchable. Observation, understanding, and mental fortitude are the shields that prevent the collapse that overtook them. To see their breaking as a failure is to miss the point. It is to ignore the blueprint of survival, the architecture of resilience that lies hidden in the shards of their confession. They confessed because they were human, because the weight of circumstance demanded it, because pressure is not polite, it does not negotiate, and it cannot be ignored. Pressure is the ultimate revealer. It exposes motives, it unmasks intentions, it lays bare the architecture of deception. And when you study this carefully, when you internalize what they revealed, you gain the ability to see the invisible strings that manipulate those around you. You gain clarity in chaos. You gain insight that the untested mind can never possess. You are not going to believe what they planned. And yet, belief is the first step toward understanding, and understanding is the first step toward mastery. Mastery over circumstance, mastery over pressure, mastery over both your own mind and the minds of those who would act in the shadows. Every confession is a lesson. Every admission of intent is a doorway into comprehension. Those who break offer you the keys to navigate a world built on hidden agendas and quiet influence. And to walk through that doorway is to step into a realm where fear is no longer a chain, but a tool, a signal that guides, sharpens, and strengthens. Consider this. The circle plotted with precision, ambition, and cunning, but they did not anticipate the inevitability of exposure. Every human structure, no matter how secret, no matter how disciplined, contains the seeds of its own unraveling. Every alliance has a weakness. Every loyalty has a breaking point.